Thank you for joining us on the weekend edition of National Focus. I'm Mervin. Coming up, the International Labour Organization supports government's apprenticeship program. A bill to amend the VAT on service and imported goods brought before the House, and Dominica sets a new record low rate for treasury bills. Stay tuned for details of these and other stories right after the break.
A lot of bathtubs are blamed for bruises. Some staircases are accused of being responsible for broken bones. Doors are occasionally viewed suspiciously as causing lesions. A high percentage of tables are accused of producing bleeding or trauma. Violence against women is a crime, and it's everyone's responsibility. It's inexcusable. If you're a victim or witness of physical or psychological violence or abuse, seek help and denounce the perpetrator.
Welcome back. Time now for the details of the news. A bill to amend the VAT Act No. 7 of 2005 was brought before the House of Assembly on Monday. The bill, put forward by the Honorable Ambo George, Minister for Information, Telecommunication and Constituency Empowerment, will address the removal of VAT on service charge levied by hotel sector and items imported by courier valued less than $150.
The amendment makes provision for the non-application of the VAT on accommodation, meals and beverages where the service charge is explicitly stated. Also, it makes provision for a maximum non-taxable service charge of 10% of the value of the service. 75% of the service charge will also have to be paid to the employees. This section is deemed to have taken effect on the 1st of September 2014.
VAT on service charge has been a concern to hoteliers who have noted that it hinders their competitiveness in the region. A Minister for Tourism, Honorable Ian Douglas, in support of the bill, said that government has listened to the plight of hoteliers, and this move signals the administration's responsiveness to their concerns.
The move that we are making right now, Madam Speaker, is we're listening. We have listened to all of the sectors in the economy, Madam Speaker, and we have met the hotel sector, Madam Speaker, halfway. It is this government that have dropped the rate of VAT, Madam Speaker, from 15 to 10 on the dive sector, because we understand the importance of the dive sector to not only the tourism industry, but ultimately to the economy, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, and when the members of the opposition claim that our rates are among the highest in the region, that is not so, Madam Speaker. An analysis of the rates throughout the region will show that we are not the highest in the region. And it is this government that has gone on to help to boost arrivals by upgrading Mervin Airport and putting in night landing while we pursue our dream of an international airport, Madam Speaker.
He said government continues to responsibly manage all sectors of the economy, including the tourism sector. The next amendment will mean an ease in the online shopping experience for several Dominicans.
Section 4 of the amendment bill addresses the measure to remove the VAT on items valued at less than EC $150 imported via courier and cleared under the de minimis system. Schedule 3 of the VAT Parent Act is a section being amended. Under the de minimis system, qualifying items valued at EC $150 imported via courier can be delivered directly to beneficiary. Section 4 of the amendment bill is deemed to have come into effect from 1st August 2014.
The de minimis program was presented in the 2014-2015 national budget. The International Labour Organization, the ILO, has recognized the quality apprenticeship as the gold standard to get youth into decent jobs. Addressing a high-level meeting on professional training in Switzerland, head of the ILO, Guy Ryder, said, and I quote, "Promoting quality apprenticeship is a top priority since they move youth into decent jobs and help enterprises to find the workforce they need for the future," end of quote. He referred to the urgent need to generate some 40 million jobs for the mostly young people who join the global labor market every year. Statistics show that worldwide more than 70 million youth are unemployed. However, the ILO is confident that the high-quality apprenticeships is what works. He used as examples Switzerland and other countries with high-quality apprenticeship systems, which consequently have the lowest youth unemployment rates. The ILO recognizes that the general and theoretical foundations for applied learning cannot be built by schools or employers alone. It says apprenticeship systems work because they link classroom and workplace training and avoid the problem where the skills in demand in the labor market do not match the skills produced in the education system. Many of the national employment action plans shared by G20 countries at their labor and economic ministerial meeting in Australia mid-September include apprenticeships. This is because, according to the ILO, countries which invest in apprenticeship believe in their future. Dominica's Labour Party government launched its national employment program in December 2013 with about 400 participants. One component of the national employment program is apprenticeship. Stone cutting, food and beverage service, hospitality, sewing, tiling, farming, and scores of other skills are currently being learned. Currently, about 900 young persons are on board, with several finding permanent employment during their attachments. In more news, Dominica has set a new record low rate for treasury bills on the regional government securities market. The Honorable Prime Minister, who is also Minister for Finance, announced while speaking at the House of Parliament on Monday. RGSM is a regional market for the trading of debt instruments of the member states of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, established in November 2002. Prime Minister Skerritt informed that the government of Dominica received an interest rate of 1.24% when it raised 20 million EC dollars through the third of a series of free 91-day treasury bill offerings. This is the lowest interest rate that has been attained on the RGSM to date.
Government of Dominica securities continue to be highly sought after, which is confirmed by the large oversubscriptions and very favorable interest rates received. The country's level of success on the RGSM to date is evidence of continued investor confidence in the government of Dominica's security.
Treasury bills are used to finance part of government's operating budgets and to refinance existing government debt. Treasury bills represent an avenue to invest outside of the normal banking system. This is Dominica's fourth issue on the RGSM for 2014, with a total of 75 million EC dollars being issued thus far.
On March 18th, a $20 million 91-day Treasury bill was issued, which was oversubscribed by $29.4 million and received a rate of 1.99%. On the 19th of June, another $20 million 91-day treasury bill was issued, which also received a rate of 1.99% with an oversubscription of $5.5 million. On July 25th, a 5-year bond worth $15 million was successfully issued at a rate of 7%.
The auction saw a total of 8 bids, with only 3 being successful. Member states participating in the RGSM include Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Dominica Labour Party administration is committed to creating a local economy that develops the lives of the people of Dominica without creating unsustainable debt burdens. Tuesday marked the commencement of the third planning and implementation meeting of Chief Education Officers of member states of the Organization of the Eastern Caribbean States in Dominica. This meeting is organized by the OECS in collaboration with the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF. It is being held under the theme Improving Collaboration in Planning and Implementing Regional Initiatives in Education. The planning meeting aims to assess the progress of the implementation of the OECS education sector strategy and to follow up on regional initiatives for advancing education in the OECS. The education officers will also deliberate obstacles to national and regional implementation of the OECS, share reports on activities for more efficient implementation, provide updates on the actions undertaken at the national and regional level to implement the OESS, discuss best practices and strategies to address data management at both levels, and propose areas for research to be undertaken during the 2014-2015 academic year. Dominica's Acting Chief Education Officer Melina Fontaine chaired the meeting at the Fort Young Hotel. The nation's leader, the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, has commented on the denigrators of funeral support from government. In Casabruce, Honorable Johnson Drago was speaking to constituents to affirm that despite criticism, he will not stop lending aid to those who need help burying their loved ones.
I was criticized for assisting people in, during bereavement. They said, don't worry for him. All he wants is when somebody dies, find himself there. Take it easy. This is why I was elected. I lost my mother and my brother in the space of 2.5 years. I remember that? Yes. Mommy died, and within a year, Magdo fell from a tree and he died. I understand the pain of grief. So when somebody dies, whether they are labor, freedom, United Workers, or nothing at all, it is my duty to sympathize with them. And every member of my community deserves the dignity of a proper burial. And whatever I have to do to ensure that this happens, I will do it.
The Prime Minister lent support to Honorable Drago, saying he says nothing wrong with that initiative.
We understand as a party, as a government, that the cost of burial has gone up in a remarkable way. Gone are the days when you take two pitch pine and you lock together and you take some battery water and you old batteries and so you break it and so on and you pass on the coffin. It is expensive everywhere. And we cannot, because somebody comes from a poor family, we cannot tell them to go and wrap your father in a white sheet and bury him. What is wrong with the government saying to the family that we will assist you in burying your family with dignity? What is wrong with that?
Now in its 30th year, Dominica's annual Heritage Day celebration, hailed as one of the biggest activities to highlight Dominica's Creole heritage, will be held in the scenic village of Capuchin on October 19, 2014. The celebration, which marks the beginning of a Creole Week, is based on 3 main events: a Creole church service, an exhibition, and a cultural gala at Cana Heritage Park. Every year, the Cabinet selects a different village to host the event. Last year, it was hosted in Bagatelle, and before that, in Warner. At a media launch on Tuesday, Parliamentary Representative for the Cottage constituency, Honorable Reginald Austrie, expressed confidence in his village's ability to host this prestigious event.
The energy is there. We have been collecting our artifacts, our exhibits. We have been practicing for our cultural performances. The church is on board with us as far as those preparations are concerned. Our cuisine will be local and as Creole as it can get, and that cooking will be done by the hands from our own communities. So we want to keep everything local, we want to keep everything traditional, and we want to keep everything in Capuchin style. We know there have been many successful ones before. I was in Warner, I was in Vehicles, I've been to many of them, and they have really set a standard for Heritage Day, and we intend to maintain that standard and to set our own standard, that anybody else who comes after us will not be talking about Vehicles or not be talking about Warner, but they will be talking about what happened in Capuchin, and we'll try to really emulate and relate some of the good things that we're doing in Capuchin.
There will also be a cultural gala at the entrance of the community near the bus stop with performances by the Carina Cultural Group, Posse Culture Pan, Paybush Cultural Group, primary schools in the area, the churches, and the Capuchin Cultural Group. A special feature of the Cultural Gala is the honoring of a cultural elder who has made outstanding contribution to the preservation and development of the culture of the host community. The Honorable Minister indicated that cleanup campaigns have already begun under the National Employment Program to enhance the aesthetics of that area. Among other preparations, the MP noted that government and residents have been working feverishly to address concerns of deplorable road conditions in that area.
Now I can say to you that about this time last year, a tremendous amount of work was done on improving the road surface and improving the roadways. In several pronouncements, the Prime Minister has promised that some $800,000 will be made available, or is in fact available, for continuing those works that were not done then. And of course, those of you who drive for Lagon would be concerned about the Lago Road. I can say to you that the contract has been signed to the tune of some $1.3 million with this company to the actual surfacing of the Lago Road.
He informed that despite challenges facing the project, the community will realize significant improvement of concrete drains in Tukari and maintenance work towards Kana Road in Capuchin. Meantime, both the chairperson of the Heritage Day Committee and chairman of the Capuchin Village Council are looking forward to highlighting the community's special characteristics, the history and agricultural, industrial and cultural achievements. Live entertainment from one of the popular bands will bring down the curtains on the 2014 Heritage Day celebrations. Heritage Day was established by the Committee pour Études Creole and the Cultural Division in 1984. As the date of the observance of Public Service Day draws closer, public officers are building momentum among themselves to highlight their daily tasks. An information expo took place on Friday on the grounds of the government headquarters, aimed at sharing information among officers as well as with the general public about the services which the various ministries have to offer. One of the Public Service Day organizers, an administrative officer in the Ministry of Human Resource, Kari Kamon, told GIS that this is the second activity of its kind organized in preparation for Public Service Day.
It's basically showcasing the services that our government departments offer through exhibition. You see we have slideshows, we have Ministry of Agriculture displaying little tips on backyard gardening, we have the e-filing from Inland Revenue, we have fisheries with us today. And basically it's a means of educating our public officers specifically, but the general public is also invited to be enlightened on the information that we can gather from these expositions.
GIS got the opportunity to speak with Petrograd Shillingford, Communications Officer at the Ministry of Agriculture. According to Shillingford, the Division of Agriculture's presentation focused mainly on composting and backyard gardening.
That would mean for us getting householders, getting housewives, and those in the urban setting involved in small production of their own vegetables, their own fresh produce on a small scale, so they can feed themselves and feed their families, but with something that is nutritious and nutritious. What we're focusing on, as I said, is composting. That means reusing, recycling what is found in your kitchen, the greens and the browns, so your peelings, from your provisions, your peelings, your waste from your vegetables, and also from your fruits. You'd use those to form your own fertilizers, which will be used back into your vegetable and your other backyard gardening pursuits. So we're focusing on the fact that the most investment that we want you to make is not money, it's sweat equity, the time that you spend in your backyard, as opposed to spending money to obtain an appropriate backyard gardening.
Carmel Leblanc, Extension Officer at the Division of Agriculture, was present to assist with the exhibition. A new segment in this Information Expo was a talk which took place at the Arak House of Culture.
We're going to be hearing from one of our legal professionals, Ms. Joel Harris, the Solicitor General. She's going to be speaking to us today on wills and testimonies, ownership of property, and different general information that people would be asking questions on, seek clarification on the legal aspects. So the information is going to be free. There will be a chance to hear from her, there'll be a chance to interact, to ask questions, and to just seek clarification on various issues of legal matters.
Let's now join Colette Ambo with a recap of the week's headline stories.
Welcome to this week's edition of Flashback. In the headlines this week, 6 families from the community of Silver Lake finally received the keys to their new homes last Friday. This was the fulfillment of yet another promise by the Roosevelt Iscariot-led administration to improve the housing conditions of citizens. Also this week, on the heels of the completion of Phase 1 of the development project for the Silver Lake community, plans are underway for Phase 2. The Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Iscariot announced that this phase will seek the construction of 9 more apartments. The National Employment Program in the Casa Bruce constituency is growing in numbers. The constituency was visited by officials from the Ministry of Employment last Wednesday to welcome new individuals into the program, bringing the total number of Casa Bruce constituents engaged in the NEP to 96. Also this week, 30 Dominican teachers successfully completed Phase 2 of a training in the methodology of teaching Spanish as a second language at both primary and secondary school levels. A closing ceremony was held last Friday. In more news this week, a bill to amend income and corporate tax was put before the House of Parliament on Monday by the Honorable Minister for Information and Telecommunications and Constituency Empowerment, Ambo. This marked the end of the debate on the presentation of supplementary estimates totaling $45,056,927.22, which was also approved by Parliament on Monday. Also this week, $224,888.66 contract was signed between the Ministry of Public Works and the Water and Wave Improvement Committee last Friday. These funds will go towards the restoration of a bridge in that community. And the National Youth Council launched the first ever Dominica-China Youth Friendship Week on Monday. Activities for the week include a movie night, a Chinese eating and tasting event, and a grand football match finale at the Winter Park Sports Stadium on Saturday, all in an effort to strengthen the bond between the two countries. And those were the headline stories which made the news this week. Back to you, Mervin.
And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non moins, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, une exposition pour séparer information service gouvernement qu'a offert par public là prend place en l'occasion Government Headquarters jeudi. Selon officier establishment Carrie Baron, plusieurs aspects service gouvernement t'y assistent.
Jeudi, ça nous a fait, nous avons expo. C'est une activité qui est part of Public Service Day l'année ça. Expo ça, nous avons information contre agriculture, contre inland revenue, contre fisheries, contre income tax, contre treasury, avec pension. Public officers. Expo, c'est pour public officers, c'est un bagage educational, un bagage informationnel, mais general public are invited pour venir participer à Expo ça.
Est-ce que vous satisfait de manière Expo locale?
Well, nous commençons actuellement, il bonnet, mais nous tenions en juillet, avait été bon, nous avons une bonne participation. So far, pour aujourd'hui, nous avons des gens qui viennent, nous avons des questions, nous avons seek advice, especially à the part agriculture, la gens qui apprennent pour planter des bagailles, dans la couille. So, vous plantez des vegetables, vous plantez des seasoning, vous service en caillou.
Ministre agriculture était aussi ni bagaille assistant. Camille Leblanc, au département là, parler contre backyard gardening et puis composting.
Là nous lever, tout bité régime nous TV, nous te planter ça des cailloux, qui à la coulon. Mais actuellement moun sorti de ça et puis tout le monde c'est zik nous mutation car il pas capable ça encore. Et ça nous fait nous travailler mener ça vivre. Ouais, ça qui nous can encourager. Ça c'est parce que compost c'est là où tirer le plus chez manger. Là où couper zèbre à la cour. Mettre ça en place. Qu'à tourner tous les semaines. Comme on mettait qu'à tourner et puis comme 2 mois après, on va taper terre. Terre ça, on va servir pour planter. Et puis, terre ça, ça prend besoin, ouais. Tout, ce qui est micro-organismes, tout nutrients ça prend besoin, il y a là.
En autre nouvelle, chef officier éducation pays OECS joint en Dominique semaine salam. Ça a fait plan et puis implémentation meeting pour ces chefs-là, direction éducation et bagaille comme ça, TAC agenda meeting salam. Meeting là est organisé par OECS en collaboration et puis UNICEF. En parmi bagaille qui discuté, c'était pour garder progrès secteur éducation OECS et puis pour mettre mise en place pour avancer. Bagaille qui a concerné le secteur éducation, aussi discuté ensemble et puis recherche affaires éducation pour l'année 2014-2015. Chef officier éducation Dominique, Mélina Fontaine, t'es chef meeting salam. À la nouvelle, mon expérience sa gardé pour promotion festival Cavan Billet, festival Creole mondial. Parole Salah, sortie officier DFC, Mademoiselle Marvel Williams.
Là, nous arrivons la plaine, nous avons différents DJ Snow, DJ Sakai, DJ Dez. Et ça, c'est un Kentos à la plaine. Kentos, nous bien apprécié qui ça a fait. Et puis nous, mon savi bien excité, il peut-être plus excité parce que moi-même, puis c'est toujours qui est moi, il a fait certain, tout bagaille en ordre, tout bagaille en garde. Nous avons vraiment apprécié ça.
Et puis finalement, plusieurs communautés en constituency Rosso North s'ont gardé devant pour développement. Parole celle-là sortie de membre parlement, Honorable Julius Timothy. Sinon, Honorable Timothy, projet sport sans créer indoor sports facility qui pour bâtir un stock farm qui mène un gros achievement pour moun Wansalam. En une semaine passée, une délégation architecte RL Road Miami était en Dominique pour présenter preliminary plan pour le gouvernement. Officier ici tapé opportunité pour discuter des plans salaires en détail. Compagnie architecte là qui expecte pour retourner pays et puis un plan final pour un projet salaire. Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson Luce. Qu'à souhaiter tout le monde un bon week-end. Au revoir.
Coming up next, your tip of the day.
DOWASCO recognizes that clean water is vital to healthy living. Therefore, it spares no effort in providing a clean, safe, and reliable system. Help keep our rivers safe and clean. Do not cut trees along the river banks and do not pollute with garbage, human or animal feces, and chemicals. Think water, think life.
Whether you're heading off to spin class, boot camp, or any other exercise, it's always important to hydrate so you can stay energized and have your best workout. Feel free to go for regular Gatorade type drinks and the calories, which can give you a beneficial replenishment boost. But worry not if you like a little flavor during your fitness. There are now lower calorie sports drinks available, so look out for them in your grocery stores. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website at news.gov.dm. You can like us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Mervin. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.